good night, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lewwe Chat. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the company you keep, and I have not one but two special guests with me. So, guys, I'm going to introduce to you Soyini Matthews and Trey Cumberbatch. Trey is back again. Good night, guys. How
Hey,
you doing?
Hey guys,
hey, I'm cool. How about you?
Hey, good man. Hey, good. So,
I'm gonna be
Soyini,
honest, I'm a bit nervous.
you're a bit nervous. Okay, I was
Yeah.
actually going to ask you how are you feeling tonight. I see some people here in the comments already. See Mario. Good night, Mario. Hi, Jadine. Nice to have you on. So, guys, just before we get started, just want you to subscribe, like, share the stream with everyone. Thank you very much for joining. Keep it entertaining in the comments, guys. Keep it entertaining in that live chat. We're going to highlight some of your questions and responses. Now, let's get right into the discussion. So, tonight, we're going to start by defining friendship. Now, what is your definition of a true friendship? Everyone in the comments, you can let us know your responses. Trey, I'm going to start with you. What is your definition of a true friendship?
Well, well, for me, a friend is somebody that you have a bond with. It's a very special kind of bond, so it's not necessarily romantic or it's not necessarily romantic or intimate, but there's so that closeness, there's so that trust, and there's so that level of reliability on each other. So that is what friendship is for me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, what you? What is your definition of friendship?
Well, much like Trey's definition, and friendship encompasses so many different things, but most importantly, it is a bond that is shared between persons that is built on mutual trust and respect. Also bearing in mind and being respectful of each other, also considering their emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual needs as well.
Yeah,
Right on.
definitely.
Good stuff, guys. I would say for me, friendship is yes, having that mutual connection and like mindedness when it comes to at least most situations in life. Though you may not agree on everything, there's still that
Yeah,
foundation of respect, love, and understanding. Like that foundation is there, and also being able to thrive from based on your similarities and learn and respect each other based on your differences. Because you could learn when people are different. If they're the same, there's nothing you can learn from them. So it's good to have that diversity within friendships.
yeah,
And it's
for sure.
also all about being transparent and being vulnerable. I know something a lot of people don't like to do, to be vulnerable, to be honest, and yeah, and
Yeah,
to be protecting of one another. You have to have each other's backs in
That's
every
nice.
way possible.
yeah.
Yeah. And everyone in comments, you can let us know what is your definition of a friendship. Please let us know in the comments. But guys, we're going to actually show you a video right now, a video from Brightside. So stay tuned for that. It's actually going to talk about the 10 differences between good friends and toxic friends. A lot of valuable information in here. So stay
Mm,
tuned.
mm.
We all know the phrase, a friend in need is a friend indeed. But did you know the difference between good friends and toxic friends? Well, we all have that one friend who's bad tempered, a little jealous, and somewhat conceited. Do you think he or she is a true friend to you? Let's see. Today, we've got 10 major differences between good friends and toxic friends that you should consider. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button because it's important for us. Number one, good friends celebrate your success. They're really happy with your promotion at work, your new relationships, or even your new shiny car. They'll be the first to call you and say, "Hey, well done. Congratulations. Let's go out and celebrate." They're always very proud of you. Toxic friends get jealous of your achievements. Even your smallest achievements enrage them.
Apparently, we're not hearing the audio to the video. We apologize for that. I have no idea what happened there, but I was hearing. Um, no one else was hearing. But the gist of the video from Brightside, they were just explaining the difference between toxic friends and good friends. And I mean, they still had some text there, so you could basically see what were some of the characteristics of true friends and some of the characteristics of toxic friends. And we are actually going to get into that right now. But
Hmm.
first, we're going to look at the positive side of things, and we're going to look at what is a true friend. Trey.
Um, a true friend is pretty much a friend that has your back through it all. Like for me, you, Glenn, are a true friend. You know, you and I, we go way back, and you and I don't always see eye to eye on things, but at the end of the day, you always have my back. I always have your back through it all, and we can rely on each other to put each other correct when things don't necessarily line up as we would like them to. So
Right, right.
yeah, yeah. So for me, that is what a true friendship is. Again, that reliability and that trust and that accountability between persons or among persons.
It's true. And it's how you mentioned we might not agree on everything. And that's something big nowadays. You know, a lot of people think that when you don't agree, like, is your friendship is declining. But it has a lot to do with what you are disagreeing about as well. And you being able to handle it.
That's
Because a
true.
lot of people would tend to think, you disagree with me. So like and it might be something that you're passionate about and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that the other person is not really that passionate about. So you can't really expect them to agree with you, um,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they have different views. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about you?
Yeah, well, I will definitely agree with all that has been said, and even though I was not able to hear most of the video, one characteristic of a true friend would definitely be having that person's back, being loyal, especially in the presence of others, um, or behind their back. Um, it's also being very supportive, being supportive of their dreams,
Mm-hmm.
their aspirations, being that force of encouragement. It's also being there in times of need when you're down and out, when you're going through, if you're having mental challenges or you just need a shoulder to cry on. Um,
Mm-hmm.
being able to have someone who is there through thick and thin, definitely is what a true friend is all about. Being a true friend is all about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And everyone in comments, you can let us know what is your definition of a true friend. Do you have any true friends to begin with? You can let us know. But here we have they do not want your friendship just because of the advantages of being close to you. No,
Yeah.
there's a big one. No, and it's hard. It's harder. We hear a lot of times people say, if you want to know your true friends, lose your job or go broke, or
Mhm.
let any of these things happen to you, you can really see who is actually there for you in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're not there for the advantages of being close to you. The second point was a true friend is genuine, honest, and transparent with you. They're not afraid to tell you what you are doing is wrong and not too proud to congratulate you or cheer you on.
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
that's the simple truth right there.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, and as I was saying before, it's always easy to call someone a friend when everything is going fine, when you're financially stable, when you're mentally stable, when you can
Mm.
provide for them and that kind of stuff, because they feel the need to, or it's easier for them to be there for you when
Mm.
everything is going good.
Yeah.
But there comes a time where you need to rely on them, or when they're seeing that they can't get anything from you in any aspect, then it's like you don't really see what you would do. You don't see that being reciprocated that kind of way anymore. Well, not even anymore. You don't see it at all, and then you start to realize, well, is this person really my true friend, or were they just there for what I had?
Mm.
And also being a true friend doesn't look like being a yes man. There are people who don't like to be corrected. There are people who, they always want to hear what they want to hear. And that is what a true friend looks like for some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's definitely true. Because I mean, I always say that human beings fundamentally we are creatures of pride. So there's always that little angst that you feel when someone has to correct you because sometimes you pray to yourself and you're like, oh, as a big man or woman, wait, tell me what to do. But then when you get over yourself and then you look at what the person is telling you, especially if it's a true friend, you realize, you know what, I might not like to hear this, but this person is telling me this for my own good, and I need to listen to them and like give them the respect that our friendship is built on to let them guide me. So you're never above correction.
It's true.
Yeah.
And what about when it comes to your goals? Like, um,
Uh,
for me, I would think a true friend would hold you accountable to your goals. You know, would make sure that you know, is this something you're still pursuing? How can I help you
mm,
along your journey to reach this goal? And they just hold you accountable because they're interested in your well-being. They're interested in seeing you develop in every aspect of life. So
hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think that is an attribute that should be there as well. Honestly,
yeah. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that they say that they want you to hold them accountable, but then when you hold them accountable,
you
yeah, like,
is like, yeah, we even reminded me.
yeah.
Like, yeah, just let it go. Just let it go. I'm not that anymore. But yeah, it's true. And yeah, and one of the characteristics, another characteristic I would like to highlight too of a true friend is that they are not afraid to stand up for the injustices that may occur to you whenever is in like when you venting, you
Mm.
could tell whether or not this person is actually interested in what you have to say. Now,
Oh,
I know there are times when you vent and it's just for the person to listen and not to give any feedback at all unless you can. And there's a time to actually respond to that person and give them the advice that they need, actually listen and take in what they're saying.
hmm,
And as Soy was saying, you don't want a yes man. So it's like you could vent and you might be angry at something and you might be wrong.
mm,
So it would be easy for that friend to say, well, I understand where you're coming from, like that person doing foolishness. Not I use the person that have some corrupt thoughts or whatever. So
mm,
for them to tell you that you in the right is wrong. It's not. It's not.
yeah.
I think you're grabbing some colors there, Glenn.
No, but for them to encourage you
It's true.
to keep on with this mindset is wrong. No, I'm not saying tell them up front the same time. You gotta bring it over very gently, and
Mm,
you gotta be smart with it because you don't want to make the person even more angry and then angry towards you as well. That would be counterproductive.
yeah,
But
I
And
get
also go piggybacking off of standing up for injustices. I mean, sometimes we're obviously aware of what our friends are going through. And I do believe being silent on matters that affect your friends is the equivalent, hi KB, is the equivalent of not being a good friend. Um, I have had friends who have gone through, different things from ranging from victimization based on political stance and so on. And I am aware of the extent to which they're hurt, their families are hurt.
it.
And I can't sit back and um, not lend support in recognizing when
mm,
injustice is happening to a
Hmm.
friend, someone I call a friend. I think that is my responsibility as being a good friend.
it's true.
Mm. No,
It is
no.
true. What do you
Interesting
feel
perspective.
about that, Drew?
I yeah, I let me give it some time, man. Just let me ponder on it a little bit. Yeah, let me
Okay,
just
fair enough.
yeah. I'm on the fence right now. I get what you're saying though, so I just yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, you
That's
should
interesting.
you should stand up for injustice when it comes to your friends because they might need you more than you think, because there are times when a person is going through something and not even their family is supportive or offering you think type of advice that they need to hear at that point in time. Sometimes the person that they want to talk to, or the person that they can get that knowledge or wisdom or advice from, is you.
Yeah.
So you should never withhold um, the kindness that you can give to a friend.
Right, right. I get that. It's just I was recalling a recent situation that I went through. You guys don't mind if I share it, right? Like,
Ah, no problem. Good night, Dario.
yeah. So, I need to be as discreet as possible with my words. But a post was made on social
Please.
media,
Uh,
referencing something that would have happened a few years back, and the person made mention of someone, but the way how they mentioned the person is not like they were attacking them or anything. They just like mentioned the person because the person happened to be there. So I saw the post and I liked it. And I didn't really think anything of it because the post was generally talking about how in schools there are a lot of double standards surrounding views of black students here versus white students here. So I liked it without giving it a second thought. And
mm,
then a couple hours later, the person that was mentioned messaged me, and then they were like, well, I didn't know that you felt oppressed as a black student at this school. And if you felt that way, you could have told me something. So I was like, what are you talking about? And then they made reference to the post that I liked. And according to them, me liking the post was me endorsing an attack on their character. No, I didn't see it as an attack on the character, and I messaged the person who made the post just to clarify. Well, when you mention X and X, like, were you attacking them? And the person was like, no, I was just mentioning them. So then I say all of that to say, like, the person felt like an injustice was done to them, and they felt like I was enabling or like endorsing that injustice, but I didn't feel that way. So that's why I was a bit on the fence when Soy made mention of that earlier.
mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough. That's understandable, and
yeah.
it's good how you kept that communication clear. No, that's another characteristic that's also important. Any friendship, you need to have clear communication. You can't just have clear communication when you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship. It's also necessary for friendships and that
mm,
understanding, that mutual understanding of what's going on.
yeah,
But yeah, standing up for injustice is definitely something that needs that you need to exercise if you want to call yourself a true friend, because your
mm,
friends can be hurt very seriously, emotionally, or even physically, and you
yeah,
need to be that person to stand up for injustice,
mm,
right?
okay,
But
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah. And
um,
you also mentioned, Glenn,
mhm,
that sometimes they may not even be comfortable or are able to turn to their own family members. But I believe that friends are the family that you get to choose. You don't get to
ah,
choose your parents, your siblings, but when you make that choice to work on that bond that is based on trust and respect, you're
mm,
actively choosing to participate and become invested in that person's life.
mm,
So, yeah, we have to be mindful of never disregarding or downplaying someone's feelings or
yeah,
what they're going through in their life at any point.
mm,
right. That's true. And Darielle was asking, what did she miss? We spoke about defining friendship, and we played a video from Brightside. The video had no audio, so we had to stop it. But we're actually going to put the link in the description of the video so you guys can watch it. It's actually very informative. Yeah. So, yeah. And also, another thing I want to highlight is vulnerability. Now,
mm,
it's necessary to be vulnerable when you towards your friends and your friendships, because you create that path for a deeper friendship.
yeah, mm,
So let me just have that surface level, because I mean, and people could talk. You could talk about your different levels of friendship as well, because you would call a certain group of people your friends, but then there's one person that you're closer to. There's the next. It just different levels, and
mm,
you would discuss. It might be a group of y'all and you're very tight, but you might discuss something on a deeper level with one friend more so than the
Mhm.
other. And that's because
Yeah.
you're a closer one, a closer relationship, and you can probably relate to them more and them
Mhm.
relate to you more. So
Yeah.
that's something that happens. And I have had some friendships where, you would be in a group and like I could talk to Trey about certain things. I could get deep with Trey and talk to Trey about certain things. No, I will have another friend that I'm close to in nuclears, but I ain't really feel 100% comfortable getting too
Right.
deep, about either my personal life or, anything. So
Mhm.
there are those different levels of friendship. So I guess that vulnerability is what, and I mean, that person, first of all, has to make themselves relatable
Mm.
and approachable as well. And I guess you open up based on how that person receives things as well. So they could be all based on that.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about that?
Um. Yeah.
Well,
I
because
think
I
so.
can.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead. Say. Go ahead. Say. Yeah.
Right.
um, what you're saying is entirely true. And you will find that when you have a group of friends, that you're gonna be drawn to one person or the other, over everyone else. And that is based on your mutual interest. It's based on, like you said, if the person is relatable. It's
Mhm.
also based on, um, the emotional maturity of the person and how comfortable you would feel with in being vulnerable enough to share,
Mhm.
um, deeper information with, for want of a better word. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's entirely true.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. Like, at the end of the day, the person has to present themselves as, okay, if you tell me this, I'm going to be receptive of it. I'm not going to judge you, and I'm not going to, like, just give you the generic, oh, you'll be all right, or get yourself together. Because,
Right.
as I always say when I'm, like, discussing things with mental health, the person to be vulnerable is a two-way street. Like the person has to be willing to be vulnerable, but they also have to feel like when they're vulnerable, they're not going to be burned in that vulnerability. So yeah, I completely agree. So
Yeah. So I guess the standard, a true friend, is not judgmental and trustworthy. Those are two
yeah.
important qualities. Two important qualities. No, we can actually move on to, um, what is a fake friend. No, I know we can got a lot of
Caller.
and everybody can know what fake friend is. So we want to hear from you in the comments as well. What are some things, some characteristics of fake friend would have? No, we have three here. One who is never genuinely excited when you have made an achievement or doesn't congratulate you when you succeed in life. Who
Mm.
believes they're giving you constructive criticism when they're just constantly being pessimistic and negative. One who does not honor your name when you are not present.
Mm.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Some people feeling these things. No problem. No problem. But yeah, like there's so many other characteristics of a fake
Mhm.
friend. I mean, and I remember I was talking to Soy earlier, and she has some very guys. She got some very insightful things for y'all, points for y'all tonight. Yes, you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with Soy. What is your definition of a fake friend?
Ah, this is such a heavy thing to unpack. But
Mm.
I think before we even begin unpacking what a fake friend is, or who we may consider or look, within our friend circle to identify who those fake friends are, that we have to be honest, um, to ourselves and check ourselves and ensure that we're not the fake friend, right?
Hmm.
Because that's something that is often thrown around, the term fake friend.
Mm.
But there's a particular scripture that,
Mhm.
I've found to be, I think it's self-explanatory, and it's from Corinthians. Um, and Paul was speaking about character and so on. But it says, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character, right?
Mm.
Um, I do agree with you saying that a fake friend is someone who does not honor you when you're not in their presence. Um, and I feel like you guys in the comments can let us know. I feel like we may or may not have a situation or two where we can relate to things that were said in the presence of friends or by the friends behind our back that was not true.
Mm.
Um, and being caught up in that type of company, of course, that lends to being a fake friend. I do believe that you have to you being a good friend means always bragging on your friends, right? I try to uplift my friends as much as possible. Whether I talk to them often or not, I try to be supportive.
Hmm.
And being a fake friend is the polar opposite of that. Someone
Hmm.
who is not supportive, someone who is always trying to get you to second guess those goals, those ambitions that you talk to them about.
Mhm.
Someone who is always um, trying to make you feel like your feelings are not valid.
Mm.
Um, Someone who essentially does not make you feel good about yourself. And especially those people, their friends who would also try to embarrass you in the presence of others. I, for one,
Mm.
never understood what that was about. But you would know that your friend may not be comfortable about something or maybe insecure about, maybe how their body or something
Um,
that is going on. And they, in the presence of others, will choose to highlight that and play it off as it is. I
Mhm.
yeah.
think that is fake. Okay? So I
Mm.
hope I'm not. Actually, I hope I am grabbing some colors.
Hey.
I'm probably here, like, bro.
Oh, boy. Mhm.
But yeah, well, honestly, and now that you mentioned that part about touching on things that the person would be sensitive about, I actually saw a tweet the other day that said that like people need to stop disguising, blatantly targeting their friends' insecurities as well. I just making sport for you or trying to build you up.
Yeah.
I have had the unfortunate experience of people blatantly targeting my own insecurities and then saying, "Oh, you need to toughen up." And this is me trying to build you up. And like for a long time, I thought that that was what a true friend was, you know. But then I realized that like a true friend, again, they're not yes men or women. They will call you out when you are doing nonsense, but fundamentally, they're doing everything to uplift you and make you feel better about yourself and help you to be a better person.
It's
Oh,
true.
and
It's
yeah,
true.
just quickly, the point
Mhm.
that Soy brought up with the scripture about bad company corrupts good character,
Yeah.
that is interesting because um, I'm trying to find a way to word this, but I think a fake friend would try to get you to do things that you're blatantly uncomfortable with under the guise of, oh, I'm trying to get you out of your comfort zone. Whereas on the flip side, you have a true friend who, even though they enjoy certain things, they know at the end of the day, okay, this is not something that Trey would enjoy or Glenn would enjoy or Soy would enjoy. So they're not really trying to pull you in. So, like, for example, I have friends that party. And this isn't me like judging anybody that parties, but like they know that I don't party, so they're not gonna like try to force me to party or like go to a fair or whatever because at the end of the day they know that that's not something that Trey is comfortable with. So yeah,
Yeah.
Fair enough. And that's
If I
good.
could interject, I know I've been talking for a while, but
no, that's
but
fine.
it is very true. Fake friends would always try to compromise you under the guise of I'm trying to um get you out of your comfort zone. Now,
Mhm.
a good friend, even if they're trying to push you to your limits or your full potential, they're not going to do so in a way that disrespects who you are, who you stand for, your morals, where you are spiritually. If it's something that makes you uncomfortable, they're not gonna cross that boundary. But a
Right.
fake friend um, has no.
I.
Hi, Ari. A fake friend has no regard for what you stand for. And much like Trey, I mean, I've had my past experiences where there are things that I would have, like, going out and partying, that I no longer partake in because I'm at a different point in my life and I'm working on my relationship with God and I know differently and all these things. And I have friends who may still partake in that sort of thing, but they
Mhm.
know that they can never ask me to do anything
Mm,
like that because they recognize that that is not who I am. That is not
right.
where I stand. And that is a good friend.
Mhm.
That's good. That's great. That we,
That's really nice.
three of us here have good friends. What about you guys in the comments? But Trey, you were talking about friends who point out your insecurities and then just call it a joke and just say, just making sport of you. Now, I
Mhm.
know we could both recall I used to do that to you. I remember like it was just roasting Trey, blaming Trey for everything. Everything is Trey.
Listen to me,
Rainfall,
right?
Trey fall, like
Listen to me, right? I can let y'all in the audience know it is nothing short of a miracle that Glenn and I are close friends now because this is
listen,
secondary
listen,
school.
listen, listen.
Like, the less said the better. But let me just say that we weren't nearly as close as we
It's
were
true.
now.
It is true. And we knew each other from what secondary school, early secondary
Mhm.
school, and
Yeah,
we were not friends until after we left school, or not even right after we left.
sure. Yeah,
Like,
okay.
nah,
Yeah.
it was a turnaround, a serious turnaround. Yeah.
At least I have a witness to confirm, you know?
Like, but yeah, like
That's money.
a lot happened between me and Trey, and I mean, there and I thought it was funny. Like I thought it was funny, so I just used to be roasting Trey, and
Yeah.
it came to a point where Trey was just like, enough is enough, and I respected that, to be honest. Like
Mhm.
enough was enough, and I tell myself, yo, like I really tripping, the man really tripping, so let me just ease off a Trey.
I
And
appreciate that.
yeah, that was years ago, though. That was years ago.
Yeah,
Mario is asking if it's your fault the sun was so hot today, fam.
yeah. Moving on from the comment.
Moving on. But it's true. It's true. And I could relate both to what you were saying. I mean, no, when it comes to influence, we were talking a lot about fake friends having that strong influence on you or trying to get you to do things that you no longer do or don't want to do at all. And it's
Mhm.
always like, come get out your comfort zone, come and experience some things, experience life. You young, do this, do that.
Yeah.
Now, I've had some experiences, and it's a good. I think is a personality thing as well that really saves you from a lot of the um, potholes you're dropping in life. To be honest,
Mhm.
so I remember like when I used to party, like I would be the one, and I'm so sorry for this. I would be the one that would drag along. And the thing about me, I'm so convincing, right? I would
Yeah. Yes.
basically,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
my friends who ain't really into party and to come and party with me because, yeah, like come and go down this place, and like I was the one doing that. So I made that decision, and I kind of regretted it. Well, I regretted it because it's not something that I do anymore. I know it's not something that I would be doing in the long run, and it's a good thing that they don't do it today. But I don't know what that was, and that's something that happens a lot. Um,
Mm.
you tell them come, man, it's not ain't that bad. Like they will just go and breeze, and then one thing turn to the other, and then it just gets completely off a whack. But
Mm.
yeah, there's so many definitions of fake friends. Lord knows I've been one. Um,
No,
I
Mr.
mean,
Harding yourself, man.
huh?
I said, don't be so hard on yourself, man. You come a long way.
Have been. I'm not being hard on myself. I'm being real. I'm being honest. But
I
yeah,
think we can all say honestly that we have not been a friend at some point.
it's true. It's
Yeah,
true. And I
yeah,
know
that's true.
I can't remember the verse, but it was saying never withhold kindness from your friend.
Mm,
Basically from a friend. Never do that. And I know there are times when I could have done stuff for my friends, and just because it was not convenient for me, I didn't. No, that is not the definition of a true friend. Um,
mm,
I believe, and for me, I'm someone that likes to go the extra mile. So I believe if I know that's something that I can do, and just because it's not convenient for me, and most of the time that was because I just enjoy watching what you're watching, or playing a video game, or just don't want to do it. It's not too hot.
mm.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, like that was really not a good representation of being a friend to that person, you know. So I really had to come out to that and say, look, I need to show my friends. I remember there was this a new, I think it was 2014 or 15. I told myself my resolution, I can be a better friend this year to all my friends. I made that
Mhm.
aspiration. I said like I can be better. And from then I just started doing things that I wouldn't necessarily do. Like I was going the extra mile. Um,
Um,
like I was really trying to go the extra mile. And there's sometimes I would have fallen short because it wasn't so easy to go cold turkey. You know, it's not something that I was accustomed doing. But
yeah.
I always tried my best to be there for my friends no matter what.
Mm,
And you know, it's funny. There's another thing I
yeah.
want to bring up just before we move on. We talk about communication in friendship now, and when Soy first started to speak about what a fit friend is, she was talking a little
Mhm.
bit about communication. Now let me just like say a little saying with communication. You don't need to Trey, you still in your life.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Right, so we don't need to, right, you don't need to converse with someone every single day
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Mhm.
your friendship to remain intact.
Yeah.
No, and this is something that a lot of people can't grasp. Like you don't need to be up in people's business every single day for your friendship to be solid. You don't need that. No,
Mhm.
I can testify to that. And there's some friends that I would talk to every week. There was some friends that would talk to every 2 weeks, every month, sometimes once a year or twice a year.
Oh
And
well.
I know if I need them, they're going to be there for me. And if
Mm.
they need me, I'm going to be there for them.
Yeah.
And I could speak to one friend, Sophia Griffith is actually on the live. You understand?
Big
So
up
like me
Sophie.
and Sophie don't message every day, but Sophie knows that I have her back. I didn't know Sophie got my
Mhm.
back if anything could down. So
Mm.
I would call that a true friendship. We don't need to communicate every single day to say, I just want to remind you that I love you. Like that doesn't happen. You understand? So like, I've seen a lot of people that would say, well, you know, this person don't message me first, or I hear from them in so long, but I'm always posting and this kind of thing. And then it's like, you know, fake friends. And I saw someone post I think something similar to that. I was just like, this guy doesn't even message me, and he's called himself my friend. So I was just there confused. I was like, oh, I wasn't no hard feelings, no judgment, but I was just like, but
Mm.
fam, you can't always expect people to message you first. Like, come on, we all from primary school, though. Like, if you want to
Yeah.
message,
Yeah.
you tell them something, message them. To be honest,
Yeah.
so yeah, that is
Mm.
something that I had to bring up.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. For sure. Um. Yeah, I always, most of my friends know I am a very low maintenance friend. Like, I barely respond. Like, if you message me Monday, I might get back to you Wednesday the earliest. But
yeah.
it's not like, and Glenn
At
and
this
Soy can
point,
confirm this,
at this
but
point, Trey, you should set up an automated message that says I'm going to respond
I will respond.
within 7 business days.
I will talk to the people at WhatsApp about setting that up. But they always know though that if they need me, I will be there. Just let me know, and like I will still try to check in when I can. But again, it's not really a reflection of the quality of our friendship. It's just like I'm
Exactly.
not really someone to always be on my phone messaging or WhatsApping, but I'm still there for you as a friend. But I guess it takes a level of maturity to be able to realize that and
Yep.
not like take it personally.
Right.
Yeah,
It is true. Really depends on our level of maturity. And
yeah.
also, I don't know if any of us have come across this, but have you ever had a friend that lied to protect you from the truth? Like, I hate to hear it, to be quite honest.
Mm.
Like, I don't need you to lie to me to protect me from anything. Let the truth
Uh,
prevail. Let me know what's going on. Let me hurt for the couple seconds, and
mm,
then I would get over it. You don't need to like, and you know, a lot of that happens when it comes to relationship stuff. Like if your friend
mm,
knows something that your significant other is doing or something that's happening at
ooh,
work, like I don't need you
yeah.
to lie. I don't this if you call yourself my friend, I would expect you to come and tell me the truth in a respectful
Hmm.
way, still respecting the other person, and let me deal with it.
Mm.
Understand? And that's something that really need to break down. But how do you guys feel about that?
Um,
I talk speaking of being a friend in situations like that. I think it's safe to also not call your friends out when they're doing nonsense in their relationship. I have called friends out that I have known have been not faithful to their girlfriend at the time or done something
Don't
that
out
was
nobody. Don't be
proved.
careful. Don't out nobody.
oh Lord.
Oh no, 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 I'm not name dropping. But being a good friend means knowing that your friend isn't treating someone's girl child or boy child the way that they should. I think it's fake not to call your friends out and not to hold them accountable.
Mm. Yeah, that's true.
But like, I also understand that some people, when it comes to relationships, they stay out of it. I could understand that because
Mm.
it can be complicated that some people may choose to not become involved.
Yeah,
So the real question is, does are those people considered fake friends?
that's a good question. That is a good
That,
question because it always
yeah.
depends. Almost it depends on your circumstance and how
Hmm.
risky it would be even to say anything because you don't want to be caught in the middle of the crossfire or whatever is going on. So it could be
Uh,
extremely risky to say something. It could put you in a bad position. It could put your friend in a bad position. It could put the other person in a bad position. So it's like,
the
and
lines.
even to say like, I think there's something that you need to know about this person. Even that alone is a risky statement because they might not
Hmm.
handle the situation so delicately. So
Mm.
it's like no matter how delicate you come and say or reveal something, they can because of the information that they receive, it could just turn into a completely different situation altogether. So,
Yeah, the
yeah.
lines get really blurry. Yeah, but even that situation that was it. Sorry, I've had a long day. Was it sorry or was it Glenn
No
that spoke
problem.
about you seeing the friend or the friend's significant other, being unfaithful, I guess, and you making that decision whether or not to tell the friend. In that situation, I don't know what I would do. Like, I seriously thank God I have not encountered that situation, and hopefully I never have to. But yeah, anyways, let me move on.
Gives me a little hot for tree. Okay. No problem. No problem. But like, okay, let me talk about congratulations and
Mm,
achievements. Now,
yeah.
a lot of friends are always there, when things it can go either way. You can have a lot of friends supporting you when you start up something, um, when it gets
Mm,
up and running because they're saying, I'm going to support you through this, startup. You ain't really got much this or that. I'm just going to be here for support. That was
mm,
if it's just emotional support, whatever. And then you make it big, and it's just
right.
like there's nowhere to be found.
Mm,
They can't even congratulate you because they didn't from the beginning. They didn't even want to see you get that far.
yeah.
They're jealous, so they
Mm,
don't want to see you get that far. They just wanted to support you through that. stage. And
Yeah.
then there's the flip side where no one is supporting you through the stage when you're working hard. Oh wow.
Yeah. My bad.
No one is supporting you through that stage when you're working extremely hard to accomplish your goals. But as soon as you accomplish your goals, you see everyone just flocking around and it's like,
Listen,
congrats. So happy for you. How can I
I
help?
I
I
always knew
think
you
you
could
should.
do it.
And all of a sudden they
Yeah.
have so many opinions and suggestions. And it's
Mhm.
like, but where were you?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, in terms of persons not being there when you make it big, I was saying this the other night with some one of my friends that people, again, human beings are creatures of prey. So it's hard for us to reconcile when someone who we thought was at our level or even quote unquote below us start to do better than us. Because it's like, all right, as long as we on the same level or I think you're below me, that's fine. I can support you on the come up. But then when you like fully achieve the come up and you thriving and whatnot, then all of a sudden the person starts to feel inadequate, and then you hear a lot of things like, "Oh, you can't get no more money out to me," blah blah blah, this and that. It's sad because you should be happy for people. I mean, I can personally attest to sometimes, feelings of envy might arise because you may be frustrated with where you're at in your own life, and then you feel that people are leaving you behind. But honestly, if it's your friend and you care about the person, you kind of get over yourself and remove yourself and say, you know what? I've seen what this person had to go through to get here, and let me be happy for them and let them genuinely enjoy it. So, yeah.
Right. Let me highlight Dominique's comment here. I think friends should hold each other accountable, but the depth of relationship level of or the relationship or level of trust in the friendship determines how comfortable you are to approach them about it. That's
Mm,
true. It is
yeah.
a very good point. Yeah. And Trey, I like what you were saying
Thank you.
because when that person reaches that level of success and you could say you could get envious and then you get frustrated because where you're at, but I mean in the long run it'll be better for you to support them and learn from them than to just be bitter about everything that's going on.
Right.
And yeah, so I mean, and everything does not happen for everyone in the same time. Sometimes
Yeah.
that has a lot to do with who we know, especially in Barbados,
Yeah. Yeah.
your qualifications, your level of ambition that you have. So many different factors come into play.
Yeah.
So yeah, but despite you should be genuinely happy for your friends when they achieve whatever goals in life.
Yeah.
Like, and I would say there could be a flip side because there are some friends who love your support while you're growing, but then once they reach, they all of a sudden they're snob. All of a
Mm,
sudden, they're better than you, and it's like, cool. What is going on? You've changed completely. Let the money get to your head, and
mm,
yeah,
mm.
I think it's also the level of investment that you have in your friendship because I don't know about anybody else, but when I see my friends leveling up, I'm proud because I feel like I'm leveling up too. Like I'm part of their accomplishment. My friend obtained a degree. I'm there. Like I feel like I am also excelling, and that is because
Right. Mm,
uh, my level of investment. So we really should check how truly invested we are in our friends' lives. It would then
mm.
put us in a position of feeling more a part of the process than being threatened by their success and accomplishment.
Ah,
that's true.
that's a very good point. Yeah. Well,
And everyone in comments, you can let us know how you feel about that, especially when it comes to success and everything surrounding that. But guys, we're going to get into this. Want to ask this question now? This there are two parts to this question. Now, what are some ways an unhealthy friendship can be detrimental towards your future and personal development?
mm,
Now, 1st of all, let me say so many ways because
mm,
you're having those friends or having friends who really aren't interested in your well-being. You know, they're comfortable to see where you're at, and they don't really want you to develop, but they can derail you completely from your purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
Completely, and that's a very dangerous circle to be in, especially if it's a circle and not just one person. Because
Mm-hmm.
we all know so many stories of people who, they began their life on track, they went to good schools, and all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, just end up hanging with the wrong crowd, as they would say, and
Right.
then their life just gone sideways in the midst of so many things. Then they get old, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
what even happened? Like,
Yeah.
you can't allow your circle to derail you from your purpose at all. Sometimes your purpose is influenced based on your circle. That
Mm.
could be positively or that could be negatively, but
Yeah.
it all depends on the type of friends that you have around you.
Yeah. For sure. And
Definitely.
yeah. Come on.
You touched on getting in with bad company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Life is a series of decisions or choices that we make. And by all means, the friends that we choose or the people that we befriend are a part of those decisions. Um, and we have to be careful. And this is something that we probably may have been absent-minded about when we were younger, in our teenage years. But
Mm-hmm.
certainly, when you get to a particular age, you have to evaluate the type of friendship you have. In fact, um, there are decisions in choosing friends that would affect your personal future development. Like if you have friends who are into drugs or into partying, and that's all they know, and they put that all out on social media, that could come back and bite you later on in life when you're applying for a job. Because you know what? There are institutions, I think most, if not all at this point, that would vet your social media. Who are you friends with? What have you posted? You're
Mm-hmm.
out drinking, getting high, you're tweeting recklessly. All of that
Mm-hmm.
is on the internet. So that can be retrieved at the point in which you're job hunting, and it's already out there, even more so now. And I didn't have that experience when I did mine, but a friend of mine was saying that when she was renewing her US visa, it actually asked for your social media handle.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that level of vetting that goes on with application for certain things.
Mhm.
And what are the type of friends do you have in your life who would have led you down a road um, that had you doing certain things? It's all out on social media. You can't, what's the word? You can't retract it. So
Yeah.
definitely it's going to influence your ability to get a job,
Mm-hmm.
as well as in that case, the US visa or whatever else that social media handles affected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, remind me to check my Twitter account when we got something. But seriously though, yeah, and even like some of the universities and the scholarships that I applied for, like under your personal information, they ask you for your social media handle. So it's like what you put out there, even if you delete it, people screenshot, people screen record. Like
Mhm.
those some of the deadliest tools that are on the phone, and honestly, we do have to accept the fact that we live in a very judgmental society. People will form their first and maybe their ultimate impression of you based on what's out there on social media. And well, on this point, I guess we also have to acknowledge that friendships aren't static. So a friendship isn't healthy and stays that way. Sometimes you could have a very healthy friendship, but then based on how life develops, then sometimes that friendship could become unhealthy, and you have to be willing to outgrow that friendship, no matter how many years you have with that person or the history that you have with them. It's sad, but sometimes you do need to let go of those friendships.
Yes, I know when to let go.
Yeah,
Do we
for
know
sure.
when to let go of friendships? I think that's a very important question that we
Working
need
on
to
that.
answer ourselves because letting go might not be so, I really can't be friends with you anymore. It might not
Mm,
come over like that. It might just come over. What might happen? What usually happens most of the time, is person get blocked or you just cease communication with the person. You just ghost them altogether.
mm,
But
guilty. Yeah.
I think a lot of us struggle with letting friends go as well because the length of time that we've known them for. So then it becomes harder. Like, well, I knew this person for so many years. They still did some good things for me and blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
people change so much, right? And
Mm,
I guess what a lot of people like keep that communication open, and that's the thing. Like just because you and that person might not be friends anymore, like consider yourself friends anymore, really good friends anymore, doesn't mean that you still can't be friendly towards that person.
mm.
You could
Mm,
still be a friend to that person. I don't know if you guys understand what that means, but
yeah. Mm,
yeah, you
mm,
can still be a friend towards that person. You could still go to your way for them. There's nothing wrong with that. You just
right.
don't want to do it based on closeness because then it really shows who you are as a person and not just as a friend.
Mm,
I think being a good friend, you have to be impartial as well because, and as we were talking about the different levels of friendship before, what we
mm-hmm.
tend to do sometimes is we would treat one friend better than the other because we're closer. See, we would do more for that friend than we would
Uh,
do for the other friend, but we
mhm,
still call them friends. So it's like I would buy, I would go down to the supermarket and get the groceries for Trey.
mhm.
If Matthew call me about it, I can tell Matthew, man, check me tomorrow, or you understand? So it's like
Yeah.
basing it based on that. Not I ain't close to Matthew. Matthew's my boy here.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. So it
uh,
just is sometimes it could be based off of that closeness that we decide how much love we want to show towards another person. And I think we should not rely on that closeness, but we should show love regardless and go to your way for others regardless and be a friend to others, to strangers, to your close friends, to your not so close friends, people that you were friends with before. Is a
mm,
challenge. It could be a
yeah.
challenge. You might not necessarily feel the logical reason. You might not have any logical reasons to
Mhm,
go to your way for this person or be nice to this person or be friendly towards this person, but it is necessary for this society, especially.
mhm,
But yeah, and we're going to go into what are some ways a healthy friendship can be beneficial towards the future and personal development. Now, this is the positive side of things because
mhm,
having a fruitful friendship allows you to flourish in so many different aspects of life. Like, can't imagine.
mhm,
Who you choose to surround yourself with. Like, if you change your circle completely because you realize, look, this is not a direction I want to head in. I really want to become someone else, someone more positive, someone more influential. And you start aligning yourself, you start changing your crowd and changing your environment, and start aligning yourself with different people and becoming close to them. You're going to see how quickly your life changes. It
mhm.
happens so fast. It happens so fast. You're going to see how quickly your life changes when you decide to align yourself with other people. Um, and you got to realize it's not that you're leaving your other friends behind or telling them, well, I find better friends than you. But life is a journey, and you're going to come across people who um, can help you in ways that some of your other friends can't. It doesn't mean that your other friends are or that they're less of a friend.
Mhm.
Um, you gotta appreciate, and this is how you tell a true friend. If I can't offer you anything, and you still choose to be my friend, you still choose to be loving to me, I know you are a true friend.
Uh,
As we would have pointed out before, it's not just about receiving those benefits from the other person.
that's true.
But yeah, you guys can share your views. Sorry, I've been talking a lot.
No, 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 it's fine. Well, I'll let Soy go first if that's okay.
Yeah,
Ladies,
sure. Sometimes it's important to know that you can be that influential friend. You can be that friend who encourages your other friends who are not, you know, they may not be intrinsically motivated because of the environment they're in. They may not, aspire or have goals the way that you have goals. It's okay to be that friend to someone by all means without feeling the burden of it.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely you can't underestimate what having good friends or the benefits of having good friends because you are or you will become what you surround yourself with. Um, and I'm gonna pick up my friends a little bit right now. Uh, I have a group of
Be
friends.
impartial, please.
Okay, so I love all of my friends, but I'm highlighting a specific group of friends if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Who we call ourselves the dream team. Well, I've been invited
Yes.
into the fold of the dream team, and you can imagine just on the name what that particular group represents. Now, I'm
Mm,
talking like the ability to vet ideas, the ability to just even have that support in starting a new venture. Uh,
Mhm.
they're they are very inspiring, and I would
mm,
encourage anyone to. You need to surround yourself with the right people to propel you to your dream. I know we
mm,
oftentimes think that your dream is your dream. It's a one man thing, but it really isn't. It is the help of all those around you. So you have to have the right team in order to be propelled to the level that you need to be. Um, Hi, Maurice, and Maurice is part of the dream team, and it's support all around, including, of course, spiritual support. So
mm.
whatever values you have for yourself, you have to find people, like Glenn said, who align with those things.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Oh, honestly, that you captured it perfectly. And sorry that. Yeah, you definitely need to surround yourself with like-minded people, even if you don't have the same exact dreams and aspirations. They're all still on that same wavelength. We have dreams and aspirations, and we trust each other to hold each other accountable and be there for each other when things get rough. Because things will get rough. Whenever you're pursuing a goal, you will always encounter some kind of hardship. But like, and I can confirm, it is so good to have friends that you could just vent to, that you could just express your that you could just
Oh, that
express
wasn't for
this.
you, Chris.
No, no,
Sorry.
no, no. Trust me. I know, I know. I
Joke,
know,
joke, joke. Sorry.
but what was I saying? Well, yeah, just to justify that yeah, they can literally propel you and push you towards achieving your goals. So, yeah.
Oh, it's true. And I just want to talk from a spiritual level for a sec.
Mm,
Um, there was a point in my life where I wasn't where I needed to be spiritually, but I realized that I had to get back on track and it was necessary for me. No, for me to do that, I had to lessen my interactions with um, certain friends, and it was really not about me finding friends that are on the same wavelength as me, but it was just me doing my own thing. Whoever comes along that has the same um, that like mindedness, that
mm-hmm,
was a bonus. So it was like, and I find a lot of times, especially for a lot of Christians, what would happen is
mm-hmm,
when they realize they want to further their spirituality, um,
mm-hmm.
that you know the friends that would do anything contrary to what they would do, that contradicts their beliefs, it's like they just leave them and they just drop off the face of the earth like altogether. And that's not something you should do, because I mean, just because you want to pursue God or pursue your or better your spiritual life does not mean that you have to all of the friends that might not be interested in doing that as well, that you would just have to leave on the side and just like disregard them altogether.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I have seen over the years. It's something that I really don't like to see, and it's something that I try not to do as much as possible because it's like I
Mhm.
have friends who don't really believe a lot of things that I believe, but it doesn't mean that I can stop speaking to them. It doesn't mean that we can be arguing about stuff all the time. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop hanging out with them. But when we do hang out, they don't disrespect me, nor I disrespect them. You
Mhm.
understand? I don't push my views on them, neither do they push their views on me. So that's why we could still have that close relationship. That's why I could still talk to them about certain things. So yeah. And now I just wanted to highlight that because that's something that happens a lot. Like you can't just disregard people altogether just because you want to get to another level spiritually.
Yeah.
Yes, it might be necessary to distance yourself from people who are pulling you down or causing you to go down a road that is not good for your spiritual well-being. But there's a way to do things, and that's something that people need to know.
Yeah. Just piggybacking off of that real quick, man. I've honestly always respected that about you. Like, observing you and seeing how you've been pursuing a relationship with God. And like, even though I don't share the same views along the lines of Christianity, like, you've never let that get in the way of our friendship. Like, if I'm doing one of my many, many, many WhatsApp rants about religion,
It's a SLC trail WhatsApp runs. I would
but
literally charge people to WhatsApp runs. Yeah.
yeah, but like, yeah, Glenn was just coming to me straight and said, well, this isn't necessarily my view, or this isn't necessarily the case. And then Glenn would like show me the scripture, and then we would discuss it. And even if we agree to disagree, it has never really gotten in the way of our friendship. And I appreciate and respect that. So be like Glenn, people. Be like
So this is living proof, guys. So you know.
Glenn. Yeah.
So yeah, like Trey is a great friend. He's a great friend. Yeah,
Very
But
and
emotional on the
I
screen.
agree with what you said, Glenn, and I think it speaks to the type of Christian you're aspiring to be. I mean, you have to we're challenged as Christians to love one another,
Hmm.
to um, extend that love that Jesus has given us and that grace that He has given us to each other. And even if you find yourself at a place of wanting more spiritually,
Hmm.
you can encourage that friend who is not so spiritually sound or strong, not in a place of, okay, I'm here, so I'm now going to try to convict you. But by all means, you can encourage them. But I will also say that, especially when you're strengthening your spiritual journey, it is also important to surround yourself with people who are on that same journey. So while you shouldn't necessarily drop your friends who don't share the zeal to pursue their relationship with God, you should also surround yourself with people who are on that similar that road, and that is what is going to help you strengthen your relationship with God.
exactly,
Fair enough.
exactly. Well said. Right. So we're gonna move on. Moving swiftly. Now, guys, this is something I want to challenge you with. Not just becoming your best self, but becoming your best friend.
Mm.
No, the reason we say this is because we expect a lot. As human beings, we expect a lot from people, and people can be often disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we gotta realize we too can also be very disappointing, to be honest, towards other people because of their expectations of us. So
Okay.
it's all about becoming
Sure.
your best friend. No, this is something I want to leave to you guys. Be the type of friend that you wish to have. Because it's easy to think about what people should do for you. It's easy to say, well, they should reciprocate what I'm doing because that's what a friend does. But it's not. You got to remember, you being a good person, you being a good friend means that you're not looking for anything in return. You're just being a good friend to that person. That's what it is. That's what love is. So, and all being a good friend, the foundation of that is love. You can only truly be a good friend if you have love for that person in your heart. So that's also necessary. You got to remember your friends are not perfect. They are not perfect. Neither are you. And you can ensure that you put forward your best self for others to experience.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So anything you guys want to talk about being your best friend? Like, I mean,
Hmm.
it's necessary because we we have so many expectations of what our friends should do for us and what friendship should look like. But then you gotta really check ourselves, as Soy was saying at the beginning of the discussion. Are we
Hmm.
genuinely being um, the best person we can be towards our friends and towards strangers, even? Or can we are we the fake friend? Are we that toxic friend?
Oh, well, well,
So you
well.
always got to put forward your best self,
Yeah.
always. And
Yeah.
also remember to you were saying something, Soy?
Oh, I was saying, yeah, in agreement. I would also say it would fit me at this point that we have to become our best friends because I think there are some people who, not that their expectations or standards are too high of their friends,
Mm,
but they put a lot on the friendship. There's a lot that's riding on the friendship. So it's important to become your own friend, get to know yourself, spend time with yourself, try to realize um, those goals that you have for yourself, and that is going to actually help you to become a better friend to others.
Yeah, for sure.
it's
Um,
true. And there's a question I want to ask you guys.
mhm.
There's a difference between being a friend with someone and being a friend too. And can you be a, can you genuinely be a friend to someone who you're not currently friends with?
Ooh. um, Difference between being a friend to and being a friend with. Yeah, being a friend to speaks to actions for me. So like kind gestures and
Right.
offers of support that could be seen as being a friend to someone. So you're not necessarily friends, but you're still
Of that
offering them that.
relationship. Right.
Yeah, but being a friend with someone, well, yeah, you acknowledge, both of you have acknowledged that, you have a bond where those kind of gestures are regular and they're expected, and you have that accountability and that support, etc. What was the next question? If you can be.
Right. And right, if you could be a friend to someone who you're not currently friends with or who you were friends with before and you kind of fell out. How does that go? I know last week we spoke about forgiveness, and forgiveness does not mean reconciliation.
Ah.
But
Listen,
if
Glenn
you
is
choose to
grabbing
be,
colors.
Yeah.
but if you choose to be a friend to that person, I mean, nothing is wrong with that. A lot of people say, man, that relationship now really, you don't really need to, you don't need to do anything. But in the end of the day, you have a choice to be put for your best self for everybody to experience, and that
Wow.
would just be a testimony for you. Yeah.
I I would seriously have to look at what would have led to that friendship ending because I'm a firm believer in boundaries, and
It's true.
I do think that like you have to be aware of your own personal limits and what you can withstand. So if the friendship ended on like extremely toxic terms, like it wouldn't stop me from being kind to you on that very basic level, but I wouldn't be going out of my way for you. And that's just the boundary I
Mm,
set for myself as an individual. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments.
for sure. Let us know what you think. For sure. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, as we were saying before, it's also important to be impartial, but going the same stance you would for one friend to the other.
Hmm.
No matter how close you are, if you call that person a friend, treat them as you would your best friend.
That's fair.
No, we're actually going to get into raw polls before we wrap up. So we've asked the question: do you have on any unhealthy and toxic friendships that you need to let go of? And everyone in comments, you can let us know if you have any that you need to let go of. No, I just want to highlight four of the responses that we got. We got a lot, but yeah, there'll be too much to go to tonight. But the
Yeah.
first person is saying they've been blocked, so no, they're no longer friends.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of rough. I mean, was there any communication before this block, or was it just I ain't really, fit in this friendship anymore? Just decided to block you, no communication, ghosted, done.
Mm.
Yeah. Second person is saying probably, but I tend to distance myself from those people as time goes on. I don't think I've told them flat out. I don't want to be their friend unless it's a guy because they don't seem to get the hint.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, guys, I hope you all know so you could get the hint if you ladies don't want to be friend anymore. Just try to be as discerning as possible. Try to pick up the hints, please.
Yeah.
If I can interject
Yes,
here,
please,
seeing as
please
I'm
do.
the only female, I mean, I can't speak
Why,
to what
why?
the person meant, but I can only assume or speak from my point of view that it is difficult to continue a friendship with a guy based off of, um, well, one, like Trey said, the reason that you're no longer friends anymore, and two,
Mm-hmm.
there's a small part of me, and this is not for all guy friends, but there's a small part of me that is convinced that there are guys who they just have silent hope that it can always go further, and that is from even just being friends. Like you can make it clear that you're only interested in friendship, and maybe the reason that the friendship ended is because they clearly don't respect boundaries. Um, but yeah, I think a small part of me believes that there are guys who are secretly hoping for that opportunity.
I have been that guy, not to the point where I didn't
Yeah.
respect boundaries, but I can testify to being that guy.
Yeah.
Play that whole, you just friends. Everything is solely platonic.
Mhm.
You see, you're back
These
here.
romantic, these
You know,
romantic movies is about your hoping.
and that brings up another question. One that's raised a lot, but I don't think we can get into much. In our next episode, we will actually get into it. But that is if males and females can be genuine friends, and how long does it last, and what actually goes on in each other's minds. You know,
Next episode, yeah. Next
yeah.
episode,
Next
yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Next episode. The other person is saying, I think so, but I don't know how. Hmm. Trey, do you have any advice for this person? They don't know how to let go of any unhealthy or toxic friendship.
Um. Uh, well, first thing would be to identify whether or not the friendship is unhealthy, or if it's just a case where the friendship is going through a bit of a rough patch. And like that video from Bright Side, so go and make sure that you share the link because I
Yeah,
think that
for
that
sure.
actually has some really good
Yeah.
points in terms of helping you to identify if the friendship is unhealthy or toxic. If that is the case, try to have a conversation with the person. Just give them that chance to communicate. Because sometimes communication goes a long way, and you realize that it's not necessarily toxic. It's just some misunderstanding or
Right. Right.
miscommunication. But if the person isn't receptive of it, then you probably do need to let go of that friendship.
Yeah. And based off of some of the definitions we were given earlier for a toxic friend or a fake friend, then if you know if they fit that description perfectly, then yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for
they
sure.
cut ties. So, do you have anything to add to that?
No, all those said.
Yeah.
Right. So the other person is saying, honestly, can't say people change. To be honest, and that's true. I mean, but then you got to look at how that person being unhealthy is actually affecting you. Are you really taking on that person at all? Or you
Mm,
just hoping silently for change, that they change, you pray for them, whatever, you just hope for the best, you
mm,
know
yeah.
so yeah. And our next question was, can you say that your current friends are your true friends? First of all, I can say yes, I can testify to that. All of my current friends are true friends. I have no fake friends in here, not that I'm aware of. So, yeah.
Mhm.
How about you guys in the comments? Are your current friends your true friends? Can you confidently say that who you have in your life now, who you call a friend, is true, and they so know characteristics of a fake friend? They're there for you 100%. I know for the dream team, it seems everybody in there is a true friend. It really seems so. So that's good stuff. That is good stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they're saying, yeah, without a doubt, I would like to believe so. And someone's asking, what is that? Wow.
Oh wow.
Well,
Wow.
we defined it earlier, so you can go back and watch the episode. And see what I told you.
Like,
But yeah,
Oh.
like most of the responses that we got were positive, so that's good. People were saying that they believe that the friends that they have now are their true friends. So that's good. I was actually proud to see that so many people had positive responses on that. And our last question was: do your current friends have a positive influence on you, encourage you to be your best self, and support you in reaching your goals in life? Again, yes.
Mhm.
Soy Trey, how about you? Can you testify to this?
Yep.
Good.
Definitely.
So we have a hundred
definitely.
percent good. So we have 100% positive responses on this as well. That's good. And I just want to encourage everyone in the comments. Check yourself first before you check your circle. Right?
Mm.
Make sure you are not that fake friend. Make sure you're not that toxic friend who's causing all this strife. Make sure you're the peacemaker when it comes to your friendships. Or you putting forward your best self towards all your friends and even to strangers. You know, um, just make sure that your circle is the circle for you and that they're propelling you to go places in life that you want to go and even beyond your imagination.
Mhm.
So that's my advice to you all tonight. I don't know if Soy or Trey has anything else to add. But right after this, we're going to show our tips video. I remember, guys, that our tips video is posted on our Instagram page. So you can always go and check it out whenever. It's there for all other previous episodes as well. So you guys can watch it. But Trey, Soyini, do you have anything else to add tonight?
You pretty much hit all the points there, to be honest. Again, like Glenn said, check yourself before you check your circle, because your circle is usually a reflection of yourself. So
Yep.
definitely
For
that
sure. I
introspection is
mean, I
necessary, and then from there, yeah, yeah. Sorry, go on.
sorry about that. I actually think there may have been a delay on my end. I thought you stopped. But definitely what you're saying, check yourself. I have found myself to be the fake friend. I've found myself to be the toxic friend. And in acknowledging those hard truths, I was then able to change that, to adapt how to become a better friend. Like Glenn said, that was a really good resolution to be a better friend to your friends. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that we may be guilty of putting more effort into relationships that we form later in life because of the place that we're in. Right off the bat, we establish, the standards we expect of friends. We're definitely more invested because we've redefined what friendship is at that stage in life. But if you search yourself, you may be able to say that, hey, I haven't always been a good friend, especially to a friend that I've had all these years. So that is it's definitely something that I would encourage. But
Thank you, guys. I just want to drop something here from Proverbs. It says, "A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother." That's Proverbs 18:24. So don't worry about the quality, about the quantity. Worry about the quality, guys. You don't need a whole bunch of friends. You don't need 10 or more friends to be important, to feel you have a purpose. Sometimes it takes two, sometimes it takes one, five, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But quality is always important. So that's something we always need to remember. Yeah. And I'm just gonna play the tips video for you guys now, so you can stay tuned for that. and we will be right back. Welcome back. So those are our tips, and remember, you can always go back and watch them on our Instagram page at Lewwe Chat. I hope you guys know how to spell Lewwe Chat. If not, I'm just gonna put it up here at the bottom. There we go. So you guys can go watch our tips. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like. Remember to share the stream. You could always go back and watch this episode and our other 3 episodes on our YouTube channel at Lewwe Chat again. Guys, we're gonna be coming back next week. Yes, next week. You ain't gonna wait 2 weeks. We're gonna be coming back next week, and we'll have another special guest here with us. I'll have Soyini here again. I have Trey again. We have another special guest coming next week. And we're gonna be tackling relationships, but not from the perspective of mental health as we have before. We're gonna get a little deeper into relationships. So I think you guys will be very interested in this next discussion. So stay tuned for more details on our episode next week. Remember to like, remember to share, remember to subscribe. Now, just want to leave one more takeaway for you guys. Just one more. Don't go anywhere. Greater love has none than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. No, that's a big one. Are we willing to lay down our lives for our friends? There's a guy who did. His name is Jesus. So I just want to remind you guys that's the greatest thing a friend can do. All right. So good night, guys. We'll see you next week on Lewwe Chat. Right back here on our YouTube channel. Soyini, Trey, you guys can say good night.
Bye.
Thank you
Have
very
a good
much.
one.
You guys, thank you for your contribution to the discussion. It was great. It was fantastic. Looking forward to seeing you two all next week. Again, thank you very much for joining. And good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye, guys.